Opponent not ready.
Grace. Ariel. Each go.
Is everyone ready to
Yes.
go? Okay, time begins. We strongly affirm the resolution that Obamacare is net detrimental. As a brief roundup for my speech, I'll be going over some framework and then going on to our own contentions. Now, for definitions, we define Obamacare, also known as the Affordable Care Act, as an act passed by or made by Obama to make health care more available to everyone. Detrimental is just harmful. We classify this as a fact debate, and our criterion for this debate is net benefits. Now we'll be moving on to our own contentions. Our first contention is that of how it's detrimental overall to small businesses and the economy as a whole. Now, what is this? What are small businesses? Well, really, they're the backbone of our country. And according to an article that was published in Forbes magazine, this is stating that it is bad for these small businesses. For example, it stated that small businesses who have about 50 workers would have to pay $935 annually. There was a study that was conducted on this, and just because of this Affordable Care Act, they have to pay this annually. These are actually it's not pay. The employees are actually losing this much money, $935 a year, just because of this one act. And those are the people who work in the small businesses, which means that usually these businesses are not like huge corporations, which means they may not be receiving the same amount of pay as someone in a higher corporation, which means that these people who are constituting the backbone of their own country are being affected by this Affordable Care Act. And I also stated that because of this act, and this was a 2014 article, that 350,000 jobs are going to be were lost just because of this act. And it was made, this study was conducted by the American Action Board. So as we can see, these jobs are being lost and these corporations are being severely affected just by this one act itself, which can show just because of these small businesses and like we said, the economy as a whole, it's being badly affected just by this one act. Also, this American Action Forum also stated, as we saw in this article, that apparently businesses would have to pay additional costs of $4,800 to $5,900 per employee. And as a total, they would be losing $157 billion to $186 billion as a whole, just because of this one act that was being passed because of this. So as we can see, this is bad for the economy. And why is it bad for the economy? Well, we know that the United States is one of the world powers, a very influential and very large country that is here in this world. So if this is being affected, then it can be affecting the other economy, the whole world economy. Other countries will be affected by this just because of this one act. And with the numbers that we presented before you, Judge, you can see that actually it is something significant, something very detrimental to our own economy, and like I said, to the world as a whole. Our second point deals with that about how it's bad for young people. Now, okay, there was a statement here in a Forbes magazine article that stated that really these people are being affected. It is illegal for insurers to offer a policy geared to actual risk. Now, what we're trying to say with this point is that young people constitute the healthy majority. Right, they're healthier than the people who are older, and either way, they'll be having to pay this. The population actually, the U.S. Census in 2010 actually conducted this, and the population, the younger people are more than the older people, and the birth rate is higher than the death rate. Well, what does that mean? Younger people are here, and they have to buy this insurance. Well, it's not even going to be affecting them. Why should we sacrifice the lives of these young children for these old policymakers? Really, this is not fair. These are the young people who are being affected just by this one act as a whole. As we can see, this is actually very bad, but it's actually happening. Apparently, according to a study, $3.7 million people would actually be better off. They would have $500 more if they forego insurance. So, according to the NCPRR, people from ages 18 to 34, like I said before, would be $500 better off if they just forego insurance. Which means that, as you can see, this is not exactly helping the young people. And as we know, young people are our future. They're the people who are helping our country, like I said before. Which means that, as you can see, this whole act, this whole policy that is presented before us is actually not beneficial. One, for the part about how we talked about small businesses and the economy as a whole, how it would actually affect the world economy too. And two, about young citizens. Now, why exactly does this matter? Well, one, as we know, the economy, that's what's helping our country. We are slowly, though we're having a recession, we are getting our economy better. It is improving. So we can see that this act is actually net detrimental for these reasons. Like I stated, it's bad for jobs, it's bad for money, for small businesses who constitute the backbone of our own country, it's bad for young people, and so overall, as we can see, it is net detrimental. So for all these reasons, I strongly affirm the resolution. Wait, oh my god. What are you gonna say?
Good job. Alright, next speaker.
So I guess my handwriting is better than Lily's.
Really?
He said
I have to disagree with that.
you can look at this, and then you can throw up with how nice it looks. It's nicer than your
Oh, this is your handwriting that you did when I had a broken hand and you were writing for me. AKA your unhurried handwriting.
And so Tessa. I am just so great. Look at all these things.
Must be stronger
And
than you.
none of them
Oh, you just
apply to Lily.
feel the life force of the mask.
But you couldn't
Meredith,
even write.
Meredith, you can speak. They've been like giggling over there for like a minute.
Ariel!
Sign and cheap.
I'm
Like,
going.
I feel kind of victimized.
They're not actually talking about the new year. I don't know.
I still feel victimized though.
Grace, dear. Okay, let's go.
I'm sensitive.
Daenerys.
I'm
Eva,
sorry,
Charles. Ariel. Go ahead, Ariel. Three, 2, 1, start time.
Okay, I have to do this. Okay, time starts now. As a member of the negation team, I strongly negate the resolution that Obamacare is net detrimental. First, as a brief roadmap as to what I will be going over in my speech, I will first refute my opponent's contentions and then move on to the negation team's own two independent contentions. My opponents stated as their first contention that this is detrimental to small businesses and that small businesses are not receiving the same amount of pay and they're losing money and this will impact the economy in a negative way. And then they cited this from a study, but they did not clarify as to how this study was taken and what exactly the study was. And I'm so scared. Okay.
Are you aware that we actually did state this study? We stated that it was made by the AC. Well, we just talked about this really, and that's not exactly a refutation of our sources.
The negation team is not stating that our opponent's source was not credible. We're saying that they did not clarify on how exactly the study was taken. Okay, and then okay.
And also, they stated that this would be detrimental to private small businesses. However, according to a study reported by CBS News, consumer spending rose 3.3% after Obamacare was put into effect, and this added $43.3 billion into the economy, which is actually benefiting the economy, and as my opponent stated, therefore benefiting the economies of other countries as well. And this leads back to net benefits because the negation team's case is showing that Obamacare is providing more benefits than harms. My opponent's second contention stated that Obamacare is bad for young people and that they are the healthy majority and there are more young people than old. They also stated that we should sacrifice the young, that we are sacrificing the young, and I am unsure as to how we are exactly sacrificing the young by placing Obamacare into effect, and so I cannot properly refute this statement. And also, my opponent stated that a few million people are not being benefited and would be better off without Obamacare. However, the negation team is showing that Obamacare is benefiting more people than it is harming people, as 32 million people benefit from Obamacare, according to the New York Times. And this is a significantly greater amount than what my opponent stated, and therefore it is helping more people and causing greater good, which relates back to the criterion of net benefits. And now I will be going over the negation team's own two independent contentions. Our first contention is that Obamacare is nationwide, and Obamacare is therefore more balanced and consistent than private businesses are. And there is no denying people health care or discriminating against people in Obamacare. People with medical and genetic conditions are often discriminated against in private businesses, and this is unfair. They are often discriminated against due to gender or race or occupation, and a study shows that women pay over $1 billion more a year in healthcare than men do in healthcare and insurance, according to Huffington Post. Yes.
When was your study conducted?
2013. Thank you. And then people with existing genetic conditions are also discriminated against in private businesses. And with Obamacare, we can eliminate this. Obamacare, according to whitehouse.gov, Obamacare workers cannot legally discriminate against any race, gender, genetic condition, existing health conditions, or occupation, and therefore is causing more benefits and is more fair than private healthcare businesses. And the negation team's second contention is that Obamacare sets the precedent of the United States being willing to help and actually take action for its citizens. 32 million people benefit from Obamacare, and these people did not have access to the type of medical care that they do now. Obamacare is providing ER services and hospitalization and maternity newborn care, mental and behavior treatment, prescription drugs, services and devices to help with disabilities, and pediatric care. Now, these 32 million people are receiving all these services and all these benefits that they didn't have before. And this is all due to the fact that the United States was willing to take action for its citizens. And this sets a good precedent for the United States. And therefore, for all these reasons, I strongly negate the resolution that Obamacare is not detrimental. Thank you.
Does anyone have a time on that? And what was the time on Isha's speech?
I don't know. 5:20.
Can I use that as my camera?
That's good. May I begin?
No. Yeah. Go ahead. Wait, no, let me open my so frustrating. Oh my god. Okay, go.
I strongly affirm today's resolution that Obamacare is not detrimental. I'll begin by going over my opponent's refutations to the affirmed points and then going over their contentions. Our first contention was that Obamacare is detrimental to small businesses. My opponents responded to this contention by saying they didn't clarify what the study was, and that $43 billion was put into the economy as a result of Obamacare. However, our response to this is that when questioned by my partner, our opponents admitted that our study was credible, and if it's credible, said so, it was endorsed by my opponents. They're freely admitting that Obamacare negatively impacts 350,000 jobs across America, which were completely lost due to Obamacare. Then how on earth did they refute this point? All they did was further support it and endorse it. The second part of their refutation was that it was $43 billion into the economy. However, our contention was on small businesses, and they offered absolutely no evidence that any part of this $43 billion went into the small businesses' pockets. For all we know, this went into private individuals who are simply letting it languish inside their bank accounts. And as such, this doesn't refute our point that it hurts small businesses, because their refutations provided no way of confirming that small businesses were not in fact harmed by Obamacare. And for that reason, this contention is not refuted. I'll move on to our second contention, that Obamacare is detrimental to young people in America. The first response to this was that this is not a significant number of people, and the second part was that it supported their side. But I'll quickly look at the first part of their refutation. If all of the young people of America is not a significant number, what is? My partner brought up in her speech that according to the 2010 U.S. Census, the number of people who are younger is greater than the amount of people who are older. Okay. If that's the case, then what is a significant number, if not a majority of Americans? I'll move on to the second part, which is supported their side, but they neglected to provide any sort of reason or evidence supporting this claim. This is just an empty statement that supports their side. They neglected to provide any solid evidence claiming that, other than that, their simple claims. I'll move on to their own case now. The first contention was that Obamacare helped to reduce discrimination. They mentioned that people with disabilities were able to receive health insurance at a lower cost because of this. But under the criterion of net benefits, these people are irrelevant. As mentioned before by my partner, Obamacare is detrimental to people with small businesses, people who are employed by small businesses, and the young people of America. And this number greatly outweighs the number of people with disabilities. If we look at this from strictly the numbers, which is what our criterion asks us to do and our opponents agreed to, then this point is irrelevant. It has no significance in today's debate. And for this reason, we can safely ignore this point. I'll move on to their second contention, that 32 million people are better off with the Affordable Care Act. However, what they're ignoring is that my partner brought up in her second contention that 37 million people are better off without it. And if we look at 32 million people and look at 37 million people, then what's greater? What about the side with 5 million extra people who are affected negatively by Obamacare? And for this reason, their numbers just don't hold up. Because of the fact that Obamacare is more detrimental to Americans, to more Americans, than Obamacare is beneficial to Americans, this point doesn't mean anything. Also important is that this coverage is paid for by taxpayer money. So it's greater, the amount of Americans who pay taxes, or 32 million people. More than 32 million Americans pay taxes, and as a result, each of their contentions is completely insignificant. As I have extra time, I'll be going over my own contentions. Our first contention is that small businesses are negatively impacted by Obamacare. 350,000 jobs across America have been lost according to the American Action Forum. 350,000 people who actually will have no longer any way to support themselves. If you work for a small business as of now, there is no guarantee that your job could not be the next job lost. This is terrible for workers as they have to pay more out of pocket, and their workplaces are negatively affected as well. We can clearly see, especially through the lack of an opponent response to this contention, that Obamacare is clearly detrimental to small businesses. In addition, Obamacare is detrimental to young Americans. As my partner stated, young people are the future of our nation, and by sacrificing them and their future to self-serving aging politicians who won't be around much longer, we're clearly claiming, my opponents are clearly claiming, that these politicians are worth more than our country's future as a whole. And since I still have time, I'll continue to build on our first contention at small businesses. With small businesses losing jobs and bleeding money, this is clear that this isn't a good thing for America. As I partly mentioned, small businesses are the backbone of our country. And America's economic success has long been helped by foreign dollars and investors. And with the lack of confidence in our economy, which is sure to, the lack of confidence is sure to increase if our economy continues to plummet thanks to Obamacare, then we'll see that it'll suffer even more, and all these effects will be magnified by the lack of security that was previously present. If we see that the government is willing to support policies that lose jobs and money for Americans. And for this reason, I strongly encourage an affirmative vote on today's resolution. Wait, you said something?
My question was so fast. I was like,
Those that are technically not
Okay,
no, like 3.5 minutes. Now it's my time to ask a question. You're taking questions.
I don't want to do this. I really don't want to.
I should do a good way to back and feel like I still have like 2.5 minutes, and I know who I'm doing.
Just exactly what I just said.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Emphasize that, okay? That's our point. Emphasize that.
What are the emphasizing?
No,
Okay,
you're
Megan,
okay.
go ahead.
You're okay. You're okay. It has nothing to do with your.
You want me to get a piece of chocolate?
Can you talk for a long time because I
Slam the box and I
Time starts.
Would you like money?
As a member of the negation team, I strongly negate the resolution that Obamacare is not detrimental. As a brief roadmap, I'll be first going over our opponent's case, then reaffirming our two contentions. First, our opponent said to our refutation, to their contention, that that the consumers were not providing for, the consumers are providing for the for only private people, talking about the $43.3 billion that they add to the economy. However, our refutation to this is that these 43.3 billion people are, when they're adding to the economy, what? What did I say? Oh, sorry. Okay, $43 billion to the economy. That helps not only individuals, but it also helps these small companies. As the economy increases, it helps both the businesses, all businesses around, all the businesses, including small businesses. So in turn, it will actually benefit them. Also,
Can you explain how a generic $43 billion spent somewhere can be an assured benefit and help to regain 350,000 jobs for Americans?
If these $43 billion are put into spent into products for small businesses or even regular products, it would be able it would help these businesses, and it would stimulate the economy by adding more money into it. Yes.
Do you have any evidence saying that any of the $43 billion was used on this?
But they were used on private businesses by stimulating and providing products in the economy. Going on to our their second refutation to our contention, they said that the young people are greater than the older people, which is why we should stop Obamacare because it will not benefit these young people. However, if these young people, everyone grows older, and if these young people will soon get, they will become older, and this growth will help them as well. And they'll benefiting in the long run. They'll end up benefiting in the long run. Yes.
But will these young people truly have a future if they slave away their youth attempting to provide for those who are older than them?
Sorry, what? Okay. These, however, how do you define them? There is no specific age limit of providing for young people. For people who are teenagers, they will not be taxed or paying for Obamacare, and so they will not be affected by that. Going on to their supporting our own case, they said that to our first contention that there is no that it is nationwide, and so it'll be more balanced and consistent. They said that we had no evidence, and that the number of people who are genetically who are discriminated against is not as are less than those who have who are hurt by this. I'll answer the question. Then, however, if these number of people who are discriminated against, it truly proves how these private businesses are treating them equally as other people who are not who don't have genetic problems, and that they are not equal to like women or to people with disabilities or people who have lower occupations than that. And so it's not equality, which means that it's not following all men are created equal, because these people are treated much differently than those with these genetic problems. Yes.
Was that part of the criterion upon this debate was to be
But there will be more net benefits because it shows that the U.S. will be upholding these rights, and so it sets a better precedent, and the people will feel like their rights are being upheld instead of them being discriminated upon. And to their second refutation to our second contention, they say that there are 32 million versus this 37 million. 32 million is far less. Well, 32 million is less than 37 million. Although that is true, we provide more benefits, net benefits in general, because with the 32 million, we also provide benefits for the economy. As I said before, that $43.3 billion put into the economy will end up stimulating it, and so there'll be more benefits in that way. Yes?
My partner and I has also brought up many economic benefits in our speeches as well. Are you aware of this?
Yes, I am aware. And however, if you when these consumers spend more, they're helping they're buying these products, and these products are usually made overseas, internationally, and so by stimulating by helping these private businesses by buying more products from them, it'll actually help the global economy by helping the manufacturers of those products, and so it will benefit the United States economy and the international economy. And so because we won't be able to help. Yes.
Do you have a reputation for how my partner mentioned that actually taxpayer money is what is helping Obamacare? So technically it would actually be net detrimental because there's a large number of people who are paying taxes rather than that 32 million or 33 million above.
you don't understand what she said, just say that was unclear. Please bring it up in your speech.
That was unclear.
And then
Guys, formal, please, Megan.
And so, because we're able to provide nationwide and equal healthcare for the citizens, and we're able to set a precedent that the U.S. is willing to help, Obamacare is proving to be net beneficial.
Good luck.
Why is Megan such a good mood? I bet she found cash on the
I actually drugged children with cupcakes.
What? All in a day's work.
Look how far
Oh, look at the lyrics.
I did, but it's okay. I'll get revenge on Meredith. It's the last thing I do. Oh, you know what? I forget the one.
Okay, Ariel, go.
Look how much I
Grace, Grace. Don't stab yourself with pencils and you won't have a problem.
I stabbed myself with her pencil.
I have a piece of lead in my hand.
That's gross. Go.
That's really nasty.
I was in pretty school. Poked it in my hand. Okay. Oh, wait, I need it. No, I don't. Time starts now. As a member of the negation team, I strongly negate the resolution that Obamacare is net detrimental. I will now be going over voting issues, reasons why the negation team won today's debate.
I wasn't doing that to you.
The first voting issue is equality, which was a big part of the negation team's first contention. The negation team is upholding equality because the United States government is upholding the Constitution, which is the document in which the United States was founded upon. And we need to uphold the Constitution, or we can no longer call ourselves the United States of America. All men are created equal. And in our first contention, we clearly stated that is that the wrong document?
Carry on.
Wait.
She can't interrupt you. Ariel, keep going.
Okay.
Ariel, just keep going.
Okay. Constitution. And then, as the affirmative and negation team clearly stated in our first contention, Obamacare cannot legally discriminate against any race, gender, genetic conditions, existing health conditions, or occupations, which is unlike the private businesses who often discriminate against these type of people and therefore is not upholding equality, which is a large part of what the United States stands for. And the second voting issue is that the negation team related to the criterion of net benefits better than the affirmative team did. Obamacare is beneficial for the economy as it places $43.3 billion into the economy plus the money that they are spending to pay for the workers in Obamacare. And therefore it is placing all of the taxpayers' money back into the economy, so it's not causing any detriments and is in fact providing more benefits because it provides more jobs, as my partner stated, and it is helping the economy by stimulating consumer spending. And this clearly refutes our opponent's first contention as well, which we stated before. And so because small businesses are benefited and consumer spending is increased and more jobs are created because of Obamacare, then the negation team is providing more net benefits for Obamacare than the affirmative team provided net detriments. And
Now I will be going over the negation teams to independent contentions once again. The negation team's first contention states that Obamacare is nationwide, and this is more balanced and consistent than private businesses and leads to more equality. And they cannot deny people or discriminate against people because of race, gender, genetic conditions, existing health conditions, or occupations. And women do not need to pay any more than men do, which women are currently paying over $1 billion more than men are in health insurance. And all of this can be stopped with Obamacare. And the negation team's second contention is that Obamacare sets the precedent of the United States being willing to help and actually take action for its citizens, and 32 million people benefit from Obamacare. And these people did not have access to the type of medical care that they do now, and gained so many benefits, such as hospitalization and prescription drugs and pediatric care. And then all these services and benefits are given to them because of Obamacare. And for all these reasons, I strongly urge a negation ballot.
Is everyone ready? Time begins now. We strongly affirm the resolution that Obamacare is net detrimental. Now, as a brief roadmap for my speech, I'll be going over the voter issues or why you, Judge, should be voting for the affirmative team. Well, first I'm going to be refuting their voter issues and then going on to others. So their first voter issue dealt with constitutionality, and they just talked about how we have to uphold the Constitution. We have to be fair for the rights of the people. Well, if we want to hold the values of America, should we be upholding life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, or really that everyone should be happy in this country? As we can see with the statistic and the number that we as the affirmative team have presented for you, Judge, that there are so many detriments that are actually happening with this care. Isn't that actually bad for our country? Isn't that not what we want for our country? Whereas they are saying, oh, we'll be upholding all the values of our country. We say that Obamacare is beneficial. But really, as you can see, it's not. And I'll go on to those numbers later on, because in their second point, they were talking about how Obamacare has no detriments at all. They talk about how they connect the criterion better, and about they have no detriments whatsoever. Well, as we can see, there are detriments to Obamacare, like 350,000 jobs that were lost just by this. As we can see, 350,000 is a large number just by this plan. So really, how can they say that there's no detriment to this plan at all? Because there are detriments, and we've seen them. They've been shown. These are facts that we presented already. So really, how can they even say that? So really, we are the ones who are adhering to the criterion better of net benefits by the statistics that we showed, and about how people are actually being benefited more, are not being benefited that much by Obamacare, whereas they are saying that it's beneficial. So really, as you can see, Obamacare is net detrimental. Now we'll be moving on to the affirmative team's own voter issues. So our first voter issue deals with that, about them dropping points. For example, they dropped a point about how there's a study conducted and about how these people would be losing money and would be losing these jobs. They completely took that away. They never refuted this again. My partner did state this in her own speech. They also refuted the part about how they also did not refute about how this would affect the world economy. They completely dropped that, and it's their responsibility to be refuting our points. And really, they were just dropping a lot of our points and just saying that something was unclear. Well, that is not an adequate refutation. And for some of them, they just completely dropped them as a whole. So as you can see, actually, they are conceding to these points. If they concede to these points, they are agreeing with us on our side that Obamacare is net detrimental. My second voter issue deals with that, about how really there are many harms to Obamacare. For example, we stated about how 350,000 jobs were lost, like we mentioned again and again. We talked about how this would be affecting young people, how it would just be affecting the economy as a whole, the world economy that they dropped. Really, everything would be, or really many things would actually be affected by Obamacare. And these are actually things that have happened because of Obamacare.
We talked about how employees will be losing $935 annually if they worked at a small business from their salary, which we stated in our first speech. So really, as we can see, they are losing money. And why does this matter? Why do small businesses matter? Well, small businesses constitute the backbone of our country. Small businesses are important for our country. And if these people are losing the money, if these people are losing their jobs, you judge could lose your job whenever you get one. And so really, we can see that it's affecting these people, these small businesses. So there is detriments that are happening because of Obamacare. So how can they say that there's no detriments that are occurring? So we can see there are many. Our third voter issue just deals with us adhering to the criteria on better, which connects also to my second voter issue of how there are net benefits. As my partner gave in her own refutation, Obamacare comes from taxpayer money. So really whatever statistics or whatever numbers that they presented to us were about 30 million, 40 million. Yeah, let's just say around there. Yet, as we know, more than that number actually pays for this. More people are paying for Obamacare for their tax money. So as we can see, people are actually being harmed more than rather being benefited by this. So how can they say that really there are benefits to Obamacare? No, there are net detriments to Obamacare, and we have presented them before you. Money, jobs, everything. Everything, or really many things, are being affected, not just for the United States, but the world economy as a whole. So as we can see, why should we think that Obamacare is not beneficial? When really, as we can see, there are many things that are wrong with it. So for all these reasons, I strongly affirm the resolution.
I think we need an Obamacare lecture.
My life. I don't even know.
I think we do. Okay. So does everyone know what Obamacare
Can
does?
someone turn off the computer?
It's helpful to record the feedback.
Please tell me. You don't even look at the video.
I uploaded them all this weekend.
To where?
I'm gonna post the link onto the Facebook page later.
What is
So
wrong
everyone on
with you?
Facebook can see it.
They're
You need
unlisted.
to be very careful with what you share.
Our
Yeah.
group doesn't have the ability to be seen by other people, Grace. At least as far as I'm aware.
Can you spread like
email it
wildfire?
I don't have Facebook.
Yeah, I'll email it out.
Yeah,
Each
Mary,
feedback
hurry
first.
it up.
Okay, you gotta say what net detrimental means. I didn't get like clear, like super clear explanation of like what it means.
What does
So the judge may not know.
Is Obamacare just for the old?
It's for everyone.
Okay, I'll go over this later. Obamacare has like 3 main parts that are important. Okay, so you should make sure you're explain. So the biggest issue I had with everybody in this debate, guys, try to listen. The biggest,
Girl,
Megan.
listen to the feedback,
The biggest issue I had with
Social security. Okay.
the issue I had with everybody in this debate is that there was a lot of evidence, but there was not a lot of actual argumentation. What I mean by that is that nobody really explained where the $935 million are coming from, where the $43.3 billion is coming from, how that money is interacting in the global scheme of things. Like, how does the $43.3 billion actually refute the $935 million? Like, you can't just say, this much money goes in the economy. You have to explain how that money gets there. Does that make sense? So anytime you say something, you have to explain, so the logic behind it is this, right? So, for example, with Isha's first point, I'm just going to pick on you because it was first and you have to go anywhere. $935 million. If you're saying that small businesses are losing $935 million like every year, you have to say small businesses are being forced to pay like this amount of money in order to compensate for the lack of funding in Obamacare or whatever the study talks about, right? So you have to explain how they're losing this money and then you quantify it, right? So you can't quantify anything without explaining it. I think Meghan actually did a pretty good job with this, talking about how consumers are going to be spending money in this certain area in like products. Like, it wasn't very like detailed, but I think it was like the most explanation I got on the economy point. Okay. Also, all of you should be saying Obamacare at least 6 more times than you are. I want to hear the word Obamacare every other sentence out of your mouth. So Obamacare does, Obamacare does, Obamacare does. Oh, I want to hear like Obamacare like, as much as you can possibly cram it into your speech without getting sick of saying the word. Because that way the judge knows what your topic is talking about and knows what side you're supporting. I know, but what I'm getting here is a lot of vague statements about businesses will pay this and somebody's going to do this, but no explanation to Obamacare, right? So I need to say Obamacare will make premiums rise because people aren't going to buy as much healthcare. Obamacare will drop premiums because more people will be on their parents' plans. Whatever you're talking about, okay? Alright. So that's my biggest issue. So more explanations and fewer actually you could have had more explanations because you have some extra time left. You didn't have to cut your numbers. But honestly, I'd just say for everybody, focus less on the numbers and the evidence and more on the explanation. Because evidence can be questioned, and all the evidence that you're ever going to find has someone saying it's wrong. But logic is very hard to refute if your logic is accurate. Right? So go for logic, then explain. Yeah. So Ish, I think you did a pretty good job with your second point. I would just clarify a little bit more how the young people have to why the young people have to pay for the insurance. It's not just because they're paying taxes on it. It's because they're actually paying for premiums because they're required to get health insurance, right? Okay. Other than that, I think you did a pretty good job because you guys definitely, in my personal opinion, have the harder side. But what I would have run for you guys actually is talking about some of the government shutdown stuff, how all the big issues over Obamacare create a lot of political gridlock. So
Where
that.
were you when we needed you, Meredith?
Letting you write your own case, silly. Alright. Other than that, though, I thought you had pretty good explanations. So I just strengthen those explanations and supplement your evidence, and then go over that a little bit more. But yeah, I think you did a pretty good job with probably the more difficult side, though there are a lot of arguments on both sides for this one. And you had good speaking, so it was nice and clear and easy to follow. Okay. Last speech. Okay, they didn't actually drop most of your points. Those weren't your points; those are sub arguments. So, and if you just say they drop it, explain why that's important. And a couple times you said $935 instead of $935 million. So be careful with that one.
I think 935 first. I'll just kind of ignore that.
Yeah, that's all I've got. So Lily. Here, Grace, come here. I'll give you feedback while Lily gives Ish feedback.
Oh, you're gonna be really mean.
Here, you guys come here.
I say what Mary just said. Also, if you're gonna say small businesses,
I'm giving you guys feedback.
half the number of how much of the economy they are. It's something I'm sure that is somewhere between 75 to 90 years old. So if you have that number,
You said to start off, you said the resolution wrong.
yeah,
Said Obamacare is
explain
not
the numbers,
not net.
what they will look
So make sure you're saying the resolution right. Yeah, okay.
I say talk about the $500 and how they for everybody because long term,
If they're just throwing out
there would
numbers,
probably be
every time I see one talk about how that's and don't explain to you where that
so
number
badly that any long
I want you to say, this number is not explained. We don't know where this number comes from. You didn't tell us why.
I would say try to cut down on
You
the
have to touch
They can be pretty good, but
say
they
every number matters. Go down and say, have a search reasoning, evidence. There's a reason that reasoning comes before evidence.
overall, good job. Oh, also, you can't help everyone
There's a reason that
with anything.
Exactly.
It's physically
If
impossible.
you don't have reason for evidence and no one understands
So don't bring out that they're hurting, that there's some
Thank you.
insurance. It's
Everything's in the same room.
you get where I'm going with that. It's you can't always help everyone. That's physically impossible.
Yeah, so I never got a point of how it harms small businesses. Why are they losing $39 million a year? Where is that money going? Where's that money coming from? Yeah, so you want to just clear. So you did do a good job pointing out they didn't actually refute your point. Because they didn't. You need to stop saying that word. Saying they endorsed our point, that's good. Your thing about foreign dollars and how our economy is just summarize. Don't Okay, next time sit down. Because that foreign dollar thing did not make any sense and made you seem less credible.
This text explains a lot.
You said our economy is
I
coming.
don't know why she was spending that money.
Also, guys, for all of you, one thing you need to be comfortable with is the idea of status quo versus change. So whenever you have a resolution, you have to say, is my side what's happening now, or is my side what's not happening now? Right? Obamacare is already in place. So you guys, if you're arguing for the status quo, your status quo is about Obamacare. Right? So your status quo isn't that Obamacare is fixing something. Your status quo is right now this is happening because of Obamacare. Okay? So what I mean by that is make sure you don't say, right now, women are paying $1 billion more than men. If your point is that women are paying equal to men under Obamacare. Yeah.
But you need to
So
mention
you have to say that,
Did you say
okay?
that? I said 2000.
Yeah. But again, you have to explain that part of Obamacare is rolled out 2014, part of it was rolled out earlier. Like, you have to say, like, when these certain things are happening and clarify it for the judge, okay? If you don't know, then research that. Alright, you dropped the $43.3 billion thing.
I know.
$43 billion thing.
I don't know. But you just said it didn't address your point, you never refuted it. So just say, it said no clear explanation, so it's
Okay.
irrelevant.
I don't know.
I did say that.
No, I know, you have to say you just said it didn't refute your point. You just have to say, as an argument on its own, it is also irrelevant.
Okay.
Okay, I for one, though she did give us
I for
Also,
one.
don't say not a significant number of
do not
people.
use my technology.
Oh, what a good girl.
Who is colorblind and vandalizing?
Don't say it's not a significant number of people. Like, okay, guys,
Concepts aren't difficult.
in general, saying that a large population of America is insignificant is not your best track to go on. You're better off trying to prove how these people actually benefit under the plan than just saying these people don't matter. Because if you say all disabled people don't matter, because we're just gonna say these people are more important, that's really discriminatory. Okay?
Also, yeah, Grace, please no, please don't
I
say
don't
that.
have anything else to say.
Please don't say that.
Ask Ish for refutation.
I gave it the taxpayer.
There we go. That worked. Alright.
Please don't say that.
Okay, don't say people.
Also, majority of Americans don't just weigh out 32
I'm
million.
going to. Well, Meredith's going to be gone, so I had to judge, but then Meredith returned, so I have to pay this. But
Also, you had good slow speaking. I understood it. You weren't like rushing or anything, and I was like, yes, I can understand what you're saying. It's great.
Wow, maybe it's better than
and yet somehow you only got it in the 3.5 minutes, which I don't know.
It's part of my charm.
Okay.
Okay, don't say the disabled are outweighed. Please. Ever. Also, a lot of people who are young can also be disabled, so it overlaps with the populations that you were talking about. So, like, your
Not
math is
every
wrong
young
too.
person is disabled. So,
I know.
as much as
Bye!
Bye.
Just be aware that the groups you're mentioning aren't necessarily mutually exclusive. Also, you dropped the thing about maternity leave, drug services, and devices,
Wait, what did
and
they
that was literally like the biggest point in the round.
Wait, what did that
That
happen?
was their second point.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Wait, what did she drop?
The thing about maternity leave, drugs, services,
yeah,
and
yeah,
devices, pediatric care. That was all.
Well, no one else noticed, so it's okay.
Oh no, I did actually write
noticed
that down.
And nobody in Ron noticed. Pay more attention.
Yeah,
to
sure.
the last 4 or 5. So it's
Ariel mentioned in her last speech, so I circled it. Okay.
Yeah, but she was bringing it up before then. So.
You also said 37 million instead of 3.7 million. And taxes. Okay, you want to talk about taxes and how Obamacare is going to cost like $2 trillion. Not taxes about how these 32 million people are not paying taxes for the less significant. They probably are paying taxes.
Obamacare costs money.
Yeah. Also, yeah. So at the end of your summaries, guys, I want everybody to go over not only their own points, but also the points of the other team. So notice that people, you guys, when you're summarizing, you say, I'm not going to go over my own points. But then you never go over the opponent's points. So the opponent's points seem stronger in comparison to yours. So go over the whole case if you have summary time. Okay? But you guys do a pretty good job of filling your time.
LOL.
Alright, Grace, go to Lily. You guys come here.
You didn't notice that. I noticed.
Notice
Wow, Meredith, way to drop the ball.
what did I notice?
Victimized.
Alright, Megan, Ariel, come here.
Okay.
Ow.
Guys, children, come here.
We love Christmas. Oh my god, Christmas is my
Oh my
favorite
god,
time.
stop. Ariel, darling,
Are you okay?
You're really distracted today. Come here.
Really?
We're really tired.
I can tell.
Where's the cat?
I went to bed at 1:30 in the morning last night.
Why?
Because I was reading comic books.
What time did you wake up? Okay, 2 questions. What time did you wake up and what were you reading?
6:30, Dumbing of Age, and Paranatural, and something else. I was catching up. I finished my homework at 12, but I couldn't sleep, so I just read comics for an hour and a half.
Brilliant, Meredith.
You.
I applaud you.
It's okay, I didn't fail the physics test. Ariel, come here.
LOL.
What'd you get?
I don't know yet,
Wait,
but I
did you
didn't
take
fail it.
environmental science?
No, I took AP Bio.
Oh, I don't want to do too far.
LOL, let's judge her together.
That's probably
But eventually. So guys, the biggest thing I have for you guys is don't
Here's the
argue
feedback
with your
Meredith
partner in the middle of the round.
has
Oh,
given
yeah.
me so that
Like, you guys
Yeah.
usually don't do
what
this,
not to
but I
talk
think it was just
about.
because you guys were just like, oh my god, they're like throwing information at us. What do we do?
No, because I didn't mean to, and I'm sorry, but
Let's see.
when, wait,
Your
So write it
question,
down
you
next
said
time.
okay.
our
Both of you
economic
did.
benefits.
Both of you did.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
basically what
I
happened
know.
was-
That was the part of do not screw
Wait, what
up.
was it?
You
What
both
was-
did.
okay.
You both did it.
She
Okay.
put it out like
So
every
Megan
single
was, like, telling you
instant
not
where I
to
said
say,
the
like,
wrong word.
You told
Okay.
Megan not to
So
say like
terrible.
That's
doll
good.
people instead of dollars,
I'm sorry.
and
Oh.
Megan because you said there are 43
Yeah,
billion people,
Right,
and
so
then
you
Megan
were
told
just
you
talking
not
about,
to
like you said that
say something about the study in the first point.
What is-
Oh yeah. No, I was trying to tell you to say that.
Oh, you were talking about how like they said
No, I
nothing
didn't forget it. It was
So
too
next
much on
time,
my list.
write it down.
small businesses,
No, how do
but
you
things that
Yeah,
you
that's
consumer
Not
spending,
go that fast.
Yeah.
which you didn't address at all,
And then,
which does have a fair
Just
the
skip
only-
it and she'll say it when she's done summarizing the point.
the only reason
Write it down,
Spending.
rip it off.
But I told her that it was my mind. She's
she's like dollars, not people, because everybody suddenly started
Because
frowning
a lot of
and
people
freaked
spend
out.
Oh, don't worry about it. Just let her
I
keep
think I
going.
should say it
No,
now.
The judge probably won't notice. Just keep
I
going.
like
You
that.
need to.
I'll
If
just
you're
repeat
repeat
the
the
you
number
can
and
argue
say
that, but you
Because
need to
they-
address
dollars.
consumer
I'm
spending.
gonna write
And,
LOL
like,
right
Grace
here.
and like,
Oh,
they started
okay.
frowning.
As long as we, yeah, don't worry about
Alright,
it. Literally,
the
just
lack
repeat it
of-
in the last speech.
Our economy is not plummeting because of
Um,
Obamacare, my dear.
Oh, that was. Did I forget to say will?
Also, study. Yes, you did.
Yes.
I told you that, Grace.
Yes. Our economy is
You
not
gotta
currently
explain the
plummeting
Oh,
because of Obamacare.
So you have to spend $43.3 million.
And you need evidence
Okay,
of
where's
the
it
link
from?
between
Yeah.
foreign investor lack of confidence and our supposedly plummeting economy.
Oh, that was
LOL.
like the last 2 minutes.
It was
That we
supposed to
had.
be
Also,
that it's plummeting
what I would talk
economy
about
if
is
we kept on this downward spiral
Don't
about
is talk about small businesses.
But we're not in a fun down.
We will.
My biggest piece of advice to
We
you
will enter one.
is
Just
question
wait and see.
the evidence.
Okay.
What happened is they stop people we're gonna have a lot of numbers with very little
Okay.
logic or explanation to back.
If you're gonna say the number of young is greater than the number of the old, I suggest you have
If you don't explain it, your judge has
It's
no way
easier.
of proving your evidence is credible.
They also said they had no reasoning or solid
George
evidence.
Washington died in 1892. George Washington was a really good leader of our country because he led the Battle of the New Orleans
What
and
does
killed
that have to do with
32,000 Native Americans.
What does that have to
You
do
need to
with
be
anything?
quiet, Meredith. You're being distracting to the other
These are
people
sorts
in
of
this
factual
room.
inconsistencies that kind of make them look.
1892.
Yes. These are sort of,
What are
okay.
you talking about, Lily? George Washington
Apparently,
was a
it's too
vampire.
humorous
That
an
was like a
example.
century off.
Yeah, that's the point.
Come,
Okay.
Lily.
So the point is, sometimes you're gonna have teams that come here and spew
Lily.
evidence.
I think,
But their evidence
and it's all
won't
your fault.
prove their
I think that
point.
you're victimized.
Right?
Okay.
So the way you prove an
Continue.
argument
Yeah.
is
You
never
said
through
they had
spewing
no
out
reasoning
evidence.
or solid
The
evidence.
way you prove an
but
argument is through explaining it
they
logically to the
did.
judge.
LOL.
That's why we have
It's the New
assertion,
York Times,
then reasoning,
32 million people,
then
that's
evidence.
helping more
Is
than
that what the
hurting.
first
They're
one is?
comparing to
Assertion?
the 3.7
Yeah, that's your
million, which,
tagline.
by the way,
That's
you said
your,
was
like, point.
37 million. It
It's
was
like
3.7.
I never knew
I
what it
was
was
looking
because everybody just wrote R-E-S-R.
AK, that's less.
Yeah, I don't
going
know.
in a
So,
circle.
Yeah.
And I was
So,
like,
that's why
that's
reasoning
so
comes before
great.
evidence, right?
Okay, let's
You
do
have to have
another
reasoning
LOL.
for the evidence to have
Stop
context.
going back and
So, I'm
forth.
just using
You went
psychology
back to your
numbers.
first point.
So, in
I
any
had,
psych,
like I said, I had
what
like
the
5 minutes
what,
of time.
like they were studying is that
Then fill
the way the
the
brain
time while
works
you're going through
is if you give
How,
vague generalizations, it will not
by
remember
more
things.
complex
Right? If
refutations
you give
other
things
than
that
that's irrelevant
context,
or
it'll remember.
insignificant.
You try just making
Obamacare.
up stuff.
That's my topic.
That's what I do.
No, I mean
87
making
million.
up stuff. That's wrong.
Oh,
30.
making up stuff. No, I don't do that.
That's literally what I said the first time.
122.
Not that we're like making up stuff, and then I was like, and you're like,
Africa.
Okay, chill.
Remember all
I
this.
I'm
Me
sorry.
too.
I
Okay.
feel victimized.
Economy.
You actually need to refute
Okay.
it
I'm
and not just
done.
saying
I can't.
Unemployment
the
6.5.
disabled are insignificant and outweighed by
12.
small business employees.
Okay, 37 million, 30, 122.
I said young
No, it was 122
So
and then 13
Yeah,
was
and it
after
was
that.
3.7
And then
million.
13, and
Yeah,
then
Africa.
Africa, and then Africa.
Good. A little more eye
Economy,
contact.
6.5.
but
What
it's
if I
fine.
don't want to look at you, Lily?
Hey,
Is that
bye.
Meredith,
I can see you speaking, remember?
Grace doesn't want to look at me.
Yeah, Meredith. I don't know what the problem is though.
So, now how many do you remember?
37 million.
George Washington
30,
died in
122, 13, Africa, a number, economy 6.5. Economy 6.5.
What is this?
That was not even close to the second.
Wait, Meredith, can I try now?
What was the point in that?
I don't
Meredith,
remember
give me the
13.
Okay.
Give me the test.
No. Now the point of this is to prove to you guys Let's try it again. 900 people are gonna die tomorrow. 20 people
Around the world.
will lose insurance. 6 people will be unemployed. 19 people will lose their dog.
Don't say that, please. Oh my God, you're like no heart, Meredith.
$70 billion will go into the economy. Alright. Now, how many of those do you remember?
Nothing.
All of
The
them.
dog thing through the dog.
Oh my god.
900 people died. 20 people.
They'll lose their insurance.
20 lost their insurance.
6.
Unemployed. 19
Lost their dog.
lost their dog, right? And then $70 billion into the economy.
Well, I remember
You're
that.
welcome.
So,
I remember that.
your
you're a special
little
snowflake.
psychology thing didn't work.
You know what?
Okay,
Meredith,
what
though?
that,
The
Meredith?
thing that matters
I,
the
like,
most in the
swallowed.
end is that
No,
you
you
aren't
didn't.
going to be one of those people.
No.
Okay. Now, the point
Is
of
there
this.
a point in taking whack?
You're supposed
Yes,
to understand my touching moment.
Okay.
Victimized.
You're the only people who
Hey,
ever
give
say
me
that.
apples.
Take a lap. It's great.
Give me apples.
Unless,
Last time we had
unless
taken
you don't like history.
Unless
if you don't like history,
if you're
if you
easily
don't like
victimized.
history, don't take it.
If you're easily
Okay,
victimized,
So the
you
point
should.
of that, guys. Okay, so the point of that was to say people remember things more if there is context.
But I
Now,
didn't
the
get to
reason-
try the first time, so you can't really prove
You
that.
actually told us more information the first time than you did the second time. You said a lot more numbers than you did.
I said 6
Second
and
time?
5.
Exactly, see? 6.
But
Okay,
that doesn't
and
mean
5.
more context.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you guys now, even if it doesn't
More
work for you
information.
personally, the broad majority of people don't remember random numbers.
You are insignificant.
Okay?
Right.
I'm not
And
insignificant.
even
I'm
if they
special.
remember the random numbers, they won't get a connection to an argument if you don't explain it to them. If I say Obamacare, my first reason, $133 million. My second reason, 6.5% unemployment. My third reason, 3.7 insurance rates. Done.
Got it.
Right? How much context does that give you? Like, how much reason for explanation does that give you?
No.
Right. Now, if I say instead, Obamacare, because small businesses won't be covered under the plan, this is not necessarily factually correct, I'm just making things up,
Bruise on my finger. Okay, continue.
is going to put $43 billion into the economy. So because small businesses have to supplement the Obamacare plan, $43 billion will be lost from the small businesses and put into the federal government's hands. Does that make more sense than me just saying $43 billion into the economy, right? So that's the type of explanation I'm talking about. You have to say, trace a clear path of how thing A gets to point B. Okay? Yes?
Oh my god.
My birthday is at
January 28th, no.
3 months and 14 days.
I do know that.
Okay, again, that's the same thing with the 32 million people are benefiting. Ariel, you mentioned in your speech. How are 32 people benefiting? What is the benefit? Is benefiting mean they're keeping their jobs? You said in the first speech, Obamacare benefits more people because 32 million people are benefiting. That's literally just the same as me saying, I have 32 apples.
Share.
I have 29 apples. I win. Right? Like, no one knows why apples are important. Nobody knows which apples are actual apples.
Apples are-
Some could be crab apples. Some could be sour apples. Some could have worms in them.
All apples are born
Right?
equal, Meredith.
Okay. Some have worms. So you have. Okay. So the point of this is that you have to explain to me where the $32 billion, where the 32 million people that benefit, how they benefit. Again, trace thing A to point B. What is the benefit? How do they get it?
Did I really say
Maybe
that?
we didn't
Yeah.
have nut butter. That's what is
Why am I so bad at this?
You're not. You just had a hard round this time. Okay.
Debate.
Yeah, and your thing about women paying $1 billion more than men right now did not support
Did you say
No.
that right now?
No.
I thought
She said right now.
I thought you said.
Okay, you said 2013 in your speech, and then you said right now. $1 billion more.
I made up the 2013.
Okay,
In
And
case
make
that wasn't
sure-
evident enough.
I didn't notice. Okay, but make sure that you actually, like, if you don't have the date for it, say I don't have the date for it. I apologize for that.
Probably not very.
But then explain it logically, right? You don't really need the evidence as much. Right, like numbers don't do you any good if you don't have the
I could
explanation.
do more
for it.
LOLs, but I
But if you explain it to the judge, then they'll remember your reasoning. Right?
Okay.
Then the numbers just help bolster your reasoning. Right? So don't look for evidence, look for points, and supplement evidence.
It's also
So it's like building a
no.
duh! Alright, the frosting is nice,
information being
but the frosting means nothing if the cake's
in
not
a
there.
small
Well, no, I like the frosting.
Okay, if you use a platter full of frosting for their birthday, they're not gonna be happy with you.
Oh, I'd be so happy with that.
Normal people would not be happy with that. With what?
Megan, would you be happy with frosting? Well, frosting's the best part.
Ew, frosting's nasty.
Cupcakes are better than muffins.
I need a better
That's
metaphor.
it. That's why cupcakes are better than muffins. Like if you said, I'm
Really,
gonna
I
give you a
feel personally
muffin or I'm
insulted.
gonna give you a cupcake, 99% of the people would say cupcake.
Alright.
Healthy people like her.
Okay, French fries.
Oh,
So French fries have salt in them.
Oh,
Do you want to eat just plain salt?
No.
Yes.
But it's salt good on
I probably
French
would.
But I mean, it evokes
Therefore-
the positive memories of French
Therefore,
fries.
you need your reasoning, which is your French fry, and then the evidence afterward. Because the evidence is not as important and doesn't taste as
But
good
you
alone.
could still eat fries without salt. It's just not as good.
Reasoning, evidence. Reasoning is more important. That's what I want you to get from this. Ignore the bad metaphors. Reasoning is more important than evidence. People remember reasoning.
Reasoning is the
Metaphor?
foundation of your house.
Are you sure it's a metaphor today?
Yes. Also, if you're thinking about maternity
I'm not
leave,
very good at metaphors.
drugs,
Maternity?
services, and devices, and
yeah.
pediatric care, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 points.
Oh.
Those are your points.
This always happens. I swear to God.
Not your precedent. Your precedent argument was actually very clever. Like talking about helping people, that was a really good point. And your thing about less discrimination is true. You just didn't have the right explanation for it.
Oh.
So the explanation for the less discrimination is that Obamacare makes sure that that healthcare companies can't discriminate based on pre-existing conditions. Now, pre-existing conditions just means you're like born with a heart defect, like Lily,
Hey!
or like you break your leg and you want to get healthcare like
Break your
after you
wrist.
have like a broken leg.
What?
Right? So it says that you can't discriminate based on like mental health. You can't discriminate based on being female. Because a lot of healthcare companies say, well, women are more likely to have babies. And if you have a baby, you're going to have to pay more than someone who doesn't have a baby. So we're going to make women pay more in healthcare premiums. Right? So you can't discriminate based on that. You can't discriminate based on race. Because a lot of healthcare companies say minorities are more likely to go into jail or to live in gang-ridden areas. So therefore, they're probably more likely to get hurt. So we're going to charge them more money. Right? So Obamacare says you cannot charge people extra for any of those things. And it's illegal to do so.
Can I get any snacks?
No, sorry. So the precedent argument was good. I would have blown up that thing about maternity leave. Put that in the
Lily, do
equality.
you have any snacks?
Services and devices and pediatric care. Those are both really good for like, taking care of the people. Like just blow those up because you have the right points and like a flow judge will catch them, but you want to make those the emphasis of your case. And the snack table purposes. Okay. Snack table, yes.
Okay, I'll snack table next.
I have a drink.
You snacks.
I don't want to drink it.
And Megan.
I said set it all in
Okay.
Meredith.
Please don't.
Mostly bubbles, so some parts of her would stay dry.
Okay, it was good that you waved down. Where are you?
Okay.
It was good that you waved down Grace's like third question. Don't take her second one either. Just take one question and that's it. Like if you have time at the end, take a second question. But I think you had a lot to get through.
I just feel kind of victimized when you.
Yeah, Grace, you have really good questions. So if you think they have a really good question in their first question, don't take more.
Oh.
Just don't take more.
Would it be rude if I just
Yeah, it would.
and
It
if
should
I
take
have
lots
like
of
extra
questions.
time at the end?
Then
and
take questions.
Yeah, but then okay.
But if
rude is glaring.
yeah, just do whatever you want. But like, don't take questions probably if they're really good questions because then you're one,
Oh, yeah.
interrupting yourself, and two, you have to fend off them while it's your speech. On your speech, you should be attacking them, right? Not defending. Okay. Yeah, guys. Again, don't interrupt. You did say 43.3 billion people.
Yeah.
Just be careful with that. But you had a good explanation for consumer spending. So I would just say where the consumer spending is going to. I just had kind of this thing for products for small businesses, but that was like enough to like outweigh any other reasoning. So no other reasoning would flow, which basically just means you did a good job explaining it in comparison to everybody else, but it can still be a better explanation.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Just because like I did want you to like give a little more context, like what sorts of products.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god. I need to show Meredith my special skill.
I wrote Ariel Dearest, but I don't know why.
Ariel, serious?
Because I am.